Okay, sir.
Okay, in this session we will start what are the OOPS concepts, OOPS in Java. Okay, OOPS in Java. What is OOPS? OOPS are nothing but object-oriented programming system. So in OOPS we will discuss principles of OOPS. Principles of OOPS. What are the principles of OOPS? So we have a 4 building block of OOPS. What are those? We have inheritance. We'll go with inheritance. Then second building block of OOPS is polymorphism. Then third building block is what? Abstraction. And fourth one is what? Encapsulation. Fourth one is what? Encapsulation. So actually we are going to look all these building blocks of OOPS. So we'll go with inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction and encapsulation. So today we will start with inheritance. So what is in the inheritance? When we should have to go with inheritance? What are the advantages of inheritance? So what are the types of inheritance, and all we'll discuss in this session in inheritance. So simply guys, let me go. When you write any business logics within the class, I have this class and I will write some business logics within this class area. Here I will write some business logics within this class A, and we have another class like class B is there. If I want to use those business logics created declared within the class A, all the business logics I want to use within the class B. So if you want to use all the business logics you have created within the class A inside the class B, you should have to make the relationship between these two classes. So class A and class B, you should have to make the relationship between them. Okay, if you make the relationship between them, the relation we are going to make here, parent-child relation. So once we will make the relationship between these two classes, we can able to acquire all the properties of this parent class into a child class. So in inheritance, the same things we are going to do. We are going to acquire all the properties of parent class into a child class. How to achieve those? How to make the relationship between these two classes? How to achieve all the properties of the parent class into a child class object? Okay, so we'll achieve those things using inheritance. If we don't go using inheritance, or if we are not going to develop any application by using inheritance, then what are the drawbacks of those applications? That also we'll see. So in inheritance, simply guys, what we will do? Simply, this object-oriented programming system. OOPS is nothing but object-oriented programming system. What will happen when you create an object? What will happen during object creation? As you know that during object creation, all the child class, all the properties of the any class will get loaded into that class object. For example, you created an object of class A. So all the non-static members of the class A will get loaded into that object. Means when you create an object during object creation, the memory will get allocated to the non-static members of the class, as you know. So we create object to allocate or to load the non-static members of the class, or to allocate memory to the non-static members of the class. That is the simple way. So during object creation, how to acquire the property, during object creation of child class, how to acquire the properties of the parent class? How will we acquire the properties of the parent class? Okay, that we are going to learn today in inheritance. So how will you define inheritance? So in inheritance, we will acquire all the properties of the parent class. Properties means what? All these class object, all the variables method and blocks, we are going to acquire into child class objects. So in inheritance, we will acquire all the properties of the parent class into child class object. Actually, when you create a child class object, So we will acquire, means we will use all the properties of the parent class into child class object. Or else you can say that what will happen, the moment you will create, the moment you will create an object of child class, okay, all the parent class and child, all the parent class and child class non-static members will be load, means the memory will get allocated, will be load into child class object. So that will happen, that's exactly happen when you create a child class object. During child class object creation, all the properties of parent class as well as child class will get loaded into that child class object. So let's go with one by one. What is inheritance? Inheritance is what? This is a process to acquire the properties of parent class into a child class object. So we'll make the relationship between those classes by using extend keyword. How to make relation and all we'll see. So first application will develop without inheritance. When you develop any application without inheritance, what are the drawbacks of that application? And when you develop any application with inheritance, what are the advantages of that application? So let's get I will create a one application without inheritance. So we have a class A, and this class A having a one method that is called instance method. I will say this is instance method m1. So which class method is this? Parent class. So which class method is this? Parent class method. This is my parent m1 method. This is our parent m1 method, as well as this parent class having a one more method. This is called m2 method. Okay, m2 method, and this is my parent m2 method. So similarly, so in child class, let's suppose you have created a one class A. Within this class A, you have defined two functionality, m1 and m2. Two functionality you have defined. So same functionality you want to use within this class B, but you are not using this functionality. You again define this m1 and m2, as well as this m1 and m2. You have defined two more functionality like m3 and m4. So what happened? This method is already available in class A. Okay, m1 and m2 method is already available in class A, but still you have defined this m1 and m2 method in class B, and you return the code. That logics, in same logics you have written in class B also. Due to that, what will happen? So unnecessarily the length of the code will get increased. You can able to reduce this length of the code. But when you develop any application without inheritance, you see within this class A, if you want to access the property of class A, you should have to create class A object. So I will write main method. So here within main method, so if you want to execute this class A logics, so you should have to create which class object? Class A object. You have created a class A object. So you created a class A object. By using this class A object, you can able to access class A property. So like small a dot, what is the method name? m1. Method name is what? m1. As well as you can call m2 method. So you have access class A property m1 and m2. So by using class A object, you have access class A property. So if you want to access class B property, you should have to create an object of which class? So within this class B, I will create main method. Within this class B, I have created main method. Which class object you should have to create? You should have to create class B object. Let me create class B object. And on this class B object, the moment you create a class object, you see, this is what object creation statement. The moment you will create an object of class A, so all the non-static members of the class A, so object will be created for class A, and small a is pointing to this class A, and all the non-static members of the class A like m1 method and m2 method will be loaded into this class A object. So on that memory address, you can able to access class A property like this. So similarly, the moment you create a class B object here you created a class B object. Class B object will be created. What are the properties of class B? M1 method is there, M2 method is there, as well as M3 method will be loaded into the class B object, and M4 method also will get loaded. And all the property of this class B object. So when you write this statement, the class B object will get created, and this is for class. This is this is M1, M2, M3, M4 will get loaded into this class B object. So this one is the class A. We don't want to represent class A object. This is the class B object. All the properties of M1, M2, M3 will get loaded just because of class B object. And on this class B object, you can able to access all the properties. How to access? Like, what is the reference variable name? B.M1. And here, what is the reference variable name? B.M2. Similarly, you can call B. So what is the function? M3. And B. What is the function? M4. So what happens when you go with this approach? So this functionality you have already declared within the class A. If you have declared this functionality again within the class A, so no need to declare, like no need to use those like duplicate, no need to write a duplicate code into class B. But still we are writing this duplicate code into class B. Again we are creating a child class object and we are accessing this class B property, duplicate property already available in here. But due to that, what will happen? There is a drawback of application without inheritance. When you go without inheritance, unnecessary length of the code will get increased. Let's suppose you have a 10 classes. Let's suppose you have a 10 classes. Within these 10 classes, this you develop a one login functionality. This login functionality you require. So this login functionality is required for all those 10 classes, like create an account classes, then deposit and money. This is the application you develop, suppose. So to develop this application for 10 times for login functionality, this login page is required. Can you use this login functionality for all, like within the 10 classes to develop this? No, we can't go. So once we develop this login functionality, we will reuse that functionality. Similarly here, once you declare any functionality, so instead of writing this duplicate code, we will reuse that code. But here we are writing this duplicate code. Once you write the duplicate code unnecessarily, the length of the code will get increased and your performance will be reduced. Your application performance will be reduced. Let me try to run this application. Just go to the location where we have saved this application. Let me run class A as well as let me run class B. So this application we have saved at this location. Open command prompt here. And just use Java C. What is the application name? Test.java. So actually the application is saved with the name test. So we will compile this application with the name test.java. To run class A logic, we will use Java. Okay. So Java A. To run class A logic. Okay, it's saying main method not found in class A. Just define the main method like this. Always define main method like this. Here also the main method you should have to define like this. Okay. So let me save this and let me run. So first compile it. To run the class A logic, we use Java class A. So you see parent M1 and parent M2 method got executed. So similarly to run class B logic, simply use Java B. Java B. So you see parent, so actually this is the child. I will say, so not parent and child, we'll say class A M1 method and class A M2 method. Similarly we'll say here class B M1 method. Similarly, this is class B M2 method, class B M3 method, and class B M4 method. Okay, now you see. So first compile this application and then run it. To run it, just use, I will run class A, Java A. To run class A, you see class A M1 method, class A M2 method got executed. But I want to run class B. To run class B, just use Java B. You see, class B M1 method, class B M2 method, class B M3 method, and class B M4 method. So what is the drawback of this application? This application we have developed without inheritance. We didn't make the relationship between this class A and class B. How to make the relationship between this class A and class B? So to make the relationship between these two classes, we will use extends keyword in Java. Extends keyword in Java to make the relationship between parent and child. Parent and child. Once you make the relationship between parent and child, you know, by default, you will inherit the properties of your parent. So I will inherit the properties of my parent. Similarly, this class, if you make the relationship between parent and child, this child will automatically inherit the properties of my parent class. But here we didn't make the relationship between these two classes. Due to that, unnecessary, the length of the code increases and the performance will reduce. That is the one drawback of an application without inheritance. Inheritance, the definition, write down. The process of acquiring the properties of parent class, the process of acquiring the properties of parent class into child class object, that is called inheritance. That is called inheritance. That is called inheritance. Or other definition, okay, or the moment we create a child class object, all the non-static members of the parent class, will get loaded into child class object. Application without inheritance. Write down application without inheritance. What are the drawbacks? What are the drawback of an application without inheritance? So first write the application, then we'll write the drawback. So this application write down, then we'll write the drawback. Sorry for late joining. Yes, wait. So these are the two functionality. Let's suppose this is not a M1 functionality. Just treat it as a create an account functionality. And this is what delete an account functionality. So these two functionality we have already declared within the class A. But you see, within the class B, you are writing some other logics. Okay, the other logics you are writing register or login logics you are writing. This M3 is what? Register, and this M4 is what? Register an account and then login. So once you register and login, you want to log in into the application, you want to create an account. But instead of like using this functionality M1 and M2, create an account and delete an account, already defined within class A, you have written same logics within class B. Due to that, what will happen? Unnecessarily you are writing a duplicate code. If you are writing a duplicate code, unnecessarily length of the code will get increased. Yes or no? Duplicate code you are writing within the class B, and due to that your length of the code will get increased. When you write a duplicate code, so there is duplication in the code. That is the drawback of application without inheritance. So there is happening duplication in the code as well as, so due to that length of the code will get increased. If there is a duplication in the code and the length of the code will get increased, due to that your performance of the application will be reduced. So that is why don't go with this concept, like don't go with application without inheritance. If you want to reuse this functionality, if you want to use this functionality within the class B, we have another approach. Okay, you can able to create, instead of creating this class A or like within this class A. So let's suppose you want to use those functionality of class A within class B. You can able to create, again you can able to create class A object, and you can use those functionality. So instead of defining this class like this M1 and M2 method, we'll remove this M1 and M2 method and this M1 and M2 method. So by using this class B object, you can able to access this class B property, whereas by using this class A object within class B, so you can able to access class A property. So this class B will be treated as non-subclass. When you create class A object within class B, then this class B will be treated as non-subclass for class A. Why? Just because of you creating an object of class A within class B. And by using this class A object, you can able to access this class A property. And by using this class B object, you can able to access this class B property. But here is what one more drawback. So every time, instead of creating multiple objects, you see, you creating class B object as well as you creating class A object. So two objects you are creating. Instead of creating multiple objects, you can able to achieve by using single class object. You can make the relationship between this class A and class B. And by using that single class B object, means what, child class object, you can able to access this class A property as well as class B property. But still you are not using child class object. You are using that like this class A object and class B object to access class A property and to access class B property. You are not making any relation. If you create multiple objects, while creating a multiple object within the class, this is class A object and this is class B object. While creating within class A, M1 and M2 method will get load, and within this class B, M3 and M4 method will get load. If you create multiple objects, due to that also performance will be reduced. Application performance will reduce if you create multiple objects. So again without inheritance, if you try to access the properties of class A and class B while creating a like separate class object, your performance will be reduced. So don't go with this approach also. Go with inheritance approach to reduce the length of the code, to avoid the duplication in the code, and to improve the performance of your application. Then go with inheritance. Okay, so that is the like drawback of application without inheritance. So write this application and then we will write all the drawback. So this is the application without inheritance. This is the second example. So first example we have written. This one is the second example which we are writing. This one is the second example program which we are writing. This application without inheritance. This application also we are writing without inheritance. Write this application, second program, and we'll write the drawback without inheritance. Okay, this is class A and this is class B. So write the drawback of application without inheritance. What are the drawbacks? First drawback is what? So increases the length of the code and hence reduce the performance of an application. It increases the length of the code and it will reduce the performance. Okay, there is a duplication in the code. Duplication in the code. So increases the length of the code. So due to that reduces the performance and there is a duplication in the code. So there is duplication. That is the drawback of the application without inheritance. Then how to overcome this drawback with inheritance? To overcome the drawback of application, like we can overcome the drawback with inheritance. First, to use inheritance concept, first of all, we should have to make the relationship between two classes. We just write this. So this is what increases the length of the code and hence reduces the performance of an application. Duplication in the code. So we can reduce. Okay, we can overcome the drawback of application So we can overcome above drawbacks. We can say we can overcome the above drawback by using inheritance. First, what we need to do, first make the relationship between two classes. So how to make the relationship between two classes? We'll make the relationship between two classes. First, make the relationship between two classes. We'll make the relationship between two classes. By using extends keyword. So the moment you will extend, let's you have a class A. So the moment you will extend class A, the moment this is class B, the moment you will use extend keyword, extends A, what will happen? The moment you will use extend keyword, the relationship will get appear here. Class B is the by default. Like the moment this class B will extend class A, then this class B will be treated as a. Then this class B is called as child class, or this class B is called as subclass, or this class B is called as derived class. Okay. So when you make the relationship between these two classes by using extend keyword, the moment you will make relationship, this class B will be called as child class, subclass, or derived class, and the class A is called as parent class, or this class A is also called as base class, or this class A is also called as super class. Okay, the moment you will make the relationship between these two classes, that will happen. The moment you will extend the parent class, all the properties of the parent class will get inherited into child class. But when you extend, all the properties of the parent class will get inherited. All the properties will get inherited into child class. But you know, all the properties means what? All the non-static members of the parent class. All the non-static members of the parent class will get inherited into child class. But when the memory will get allocated to the non-static members of the class, when you create a object. So child class object creation is mandatory to achieve inheritance in Java. If you don't create child class object, you can't able to achieve. Okay. So right, to achieve inheritance in Java. So just make the relationship between two classes. That is not enough. You should have to create a child class object. When you create a child class object, then only all the parent class as well as child class non-static members will get loaded into that class object. So to achieve inheritance in Java, so always remember that child class object creation is mandatory. Without child class object, you can't able to access parent as well as child class properties. So that is why always. So what is mandatory? So this class A is the parent, class B is the child. So once you make the relationship between by using extend keyword, then this class A will be treated as parent class. This parent class, so we are extending this parent class into child class. This class A will always treated as when you extend by using extend keyword. Here we are using extend keyword. Extend. This class A will be treated as parent. This class A will be treated as base class or super class. Whereas this class B will be treated as child or subclass or derived class. And to achieve inheritance in Java, child class object creation is mandatory. Without child class object, you can't able to achieve inheritance in Java. So right. Yes. Let's develop the application with inheritance. if you develop any application with inheritance, what will happen and how we are going to overcome this drawback. So come to this page. So this is the M1, M2 method already created. So this is M3, M4 method. So not recommended to create this object. Not recommended to create parent class object. By using this parent class object, if you make the relationship between these two classes, how to make relationship between these two classes? To make the relationship between these two classes, we will use extend keyword. Extends class A. So here, the moment you will extend the class A, the class B is called as child class. Child class, or this class B is called as subclass. Subclass, or this class B is called as derived class. Derived class. And this class A is called as parent class, or it is also known as base class, or it is also known as superclass. Once you make the relationship between them, you see, the moment you create child class object, all the properties of parent. So the moment you create child class object, this is class B object, all the properties of parent class like M1, M2 method as well as child class M3, M4 method will get loaded into this object. All this will get loaded into this child class object. But if you create a parent class like this, parent class object, by using like parent class object, A is the parent class object, only M1 and M2 method will get loaded into this parent class object. Only M1 and M2 method will get loaded. So always remember that when you create a child class object, always which class object, when you inherit any class, then which class object creation is recommended? Always create child class object. You see, by using this child class object, you can able to access so parent class property like M1 as well as parent class property M2. But by using this child class object, you can able to access only parent properties. If you try to access child property, you will get compilation error. I will show you. First, let me run this application and we'll show. So once M1, M2 method you created, we are not repeating this M1 and M2 method. And by using this child class object, we can able to access all the M1, M2, M3, M4 method, parent class method as well as child class method. But by using parent class object, we can able to access only parent properties. You see, by using this parent class object, we can able to access only parent M1 and M2 method. So that is why I always recommended to use or always recommended to create child class object. Always create this child class object and access parent properties, parent as well as child properties. So let me run this. So first compile this application. To compile this application name is what? Test. So I will compile this application javac test.java. And where is the main method? The main method is available in class B. Class B is the child class. You see, class A M1 method, class A M2 method. Then class B M3 method, Y M1, M2, M3, M4. Yes. You see, class B M3 method, class B M4 method, as well as by using child class object, you are accessing class A M1 method, class B M2 method. You see guys, by using child class object, if you try to access M3 method, you will get compilation error. So by using this parent class object, you can able to access only parent properties. But by using this child class object, you can able to access all the properties, parent as well as these are the parent properties and these are the child properties. But by using parent class object, if you try to access child class property, you will get compilation error. Let me run. First compile it. When you compile it, might be at runtime you will get not compile. We are getting compilation error. You see, in test.java line number 13, error cannot find symbol. Actually, so in child class object, it's tried to find this M3 method, but this M3 method is not loaded. M3 method is loaded into what? Parent class object. In parent class object, M1 and M2 method loaded. This is parent class object, and in child class object, M3 and M4 method got loaded. Okay, but on parent class object, we are trying to find M3 method. The M3 method is not loaded in parent class. That's what you are getting compilation error. Always Recommended to use which class object? Always recommended to create which class object? Always create parent class object. Sorry, always create child class object. Don't take parent class object. If you create a child class object, don't require to create this object. You can able to access both the properties, parent properties as well as child properties. When you go with child class object, what are the you are reducing the length of the code. You are reducing the length of the code. You are avoiding the duplication in the code. If you are reducing the length of the code and avoiding the duplication of the code, by default performance will be increased. Okay, that is the advantage of inheritance. Am I clear? Write down this application, then we'll write application like advantage. Yeah, write down advantage. Advantage of an application with inheritance. So what is the advantage? First advantage was we are reducing the length of the code. This is the length of the code. First of all. So first things we done. Second is what? So avoid the duplication in the code. Avoid the duplication in the code. So once we do reduces the length of the code or in a redundancy in the code. Redundancy means what? Avoiding the duplication in the code. Due to that, automatically the performance will be increased. Performance increases improves the performance of the code. Improves the performance of the code. So that are the advantage when you go with application with inheritance.